So welcome to chapter 2, and in this video we're going to be going over how to render this simple interior scene using two light sources. So first off, we'll set up our scene. So we've got this view on the right here. So firstly we'll go to V-Ray, Asset Editor. Our render output, we're going to set the aspect ratio to 4:5, which will give us a portrait view. And when you click here on Save Frame, the frame for the render will show up on the right hand side. So we can set it to the size that this render will be. So we'll set up this viewport until it matches the same as the save frame. Essentially the save frame just shows exactly the part of the viewport that you'll be rendering and how the render will turn out. So again, we can go ahead and turn it off. And on the right hand side here, this will be our frame for the render. It will set a top view as well. And we'll press F6 to activate our camera. You want to make sure the view is turned on when you press F6. So now we can see our camera in the viewport here. So now we're going to set up our camera settings in the Asset Editor. We'll keep the exposure about 11.4. You want to make sure that material override is on so that all the materials will show up as white. And we want to show a white balance. You can set it to auto or just keep it at white for now. So do a quick test render to see how it looks without any lights. We'll make sure we're rendering the right viewport first. So this is what our scene will look like. So let's go ahead and add our first light. So with V-Ray lights, we'll use the rectangle light to make our first main light. We'll make sure it's out of the viewport. Make sure it's out of view of the camera. So we're going to set the light to radiant power and about 400 watts. So as you can see, the light is very overexposed. We can fix this by moving the light further away from the wall. As you can see, that fixed the overexposure. We'll go ahead and bump up the light to about 500. And we'll use our interactive view to get the light precisely in the middle of the frame. And similar to the previous tutorial, we're going to add our secondary light on the left side. The secondary light is essentially to light up the shadows that come off the primary light. So I use our interactive view to see just the secondary light. So about there looks good, and I will activate both of the lights to see what it looks like. The main light is still slightly overpowering, so we'll move it further away from the wall until we get a nice even exposure. We're also going to go ahead and add a third light. As you can see, some of the shadows are still quite harsh on these small objects. So there's our studio lighting setup. And on the third light, we'll just turn it down slightly. So let's take it off interactive and see what our final result looks like. I think we'll go ahead and turn off the third light. So we just have the primary and the secondary light. Now finally, we'll go ahead and set the color temperatures for both lights. So our primary light will be slightly more cooler. So we'll adjust the color temperatures. And then the secondary light will be slightly warmer to create that contrast. And so here's our final result.